You're listening to the Incomparables Total Party Kill podcast, and this is your friendly neighborhood TPK producer, Erica Ensign, here to let you know that it's that exciting time of year when we remind all of you that you can directly support Total Party Kill and help keep us going strong and silly by becoming a member of the Incomparable. And you can support TPK directly through a monthly or annual pledge. Why would you want to do that? Well, in addition to ensuring we can continue to bring you wacky hijinks every week, this year, one of your friendly neighborhood DMs, Tony Sindelar, is running a very special adventure that only members will get to hear. And to make sure the silliness quotient is as high as possible, the players are all playing not wizards, but wizards' familiars. Now, how exactly will a party get anything done when it's made up of a cat and some birds and also an octopus? Well, if you want to find out, go to theincomparable.com/members and sign up. You can choose which shows on the network you want to support. All you need to do is check the little ticky box next to Total Party Kill, and your contribution will come to this show after a few very reasonable fees are taken out. Now, if you listen to other podcasts on the Incomparable Network, and you totally should, you can also check those little ticky boxes. Who doesn't love ticky boxes? And your contribution will be shared equally by all the shows that you want to support. And as a thank you for supporting us, members receive lots of extras. It's not just this year's Wacky Familiars adventure. There are several exclusive podcast feeds, including an ad-free special edition of the Incomparable Mothership. You get bootlegs of live recording sessions, and yes, that includes Total Party Kill. And then there's a special feed full of bonus episodes that only members get to hear. And you get access to a super fun members-only Discord. There's tons and tons of Total Party Kill chat. There's also a lot of just general D&D chat. So if you want to talk about how to run a game, how to play, there are so many really cool, fun people talking about that all the time in our Discord, and new members receive free Incomparable swag as well. There are contribution levels at $5, $10, and $20 per month, and annual equivalents are available, of course. If you're already a member, it's super easy to increase your pledge to a higher level and then get some special goodies in return. Woohoo! So if you'd like to support us, please go to theincomparable.com/members to sign up. Thank you so much. And now, on with the show. You're listening to the Incomparables Total Party Kill podcast, in which a group of friends play Dungeons and Dragons on the internet for your amusement. This is episode number 494, starting another Candlekeep mystery, recorded June 2023, posted March 2025. A Heap of Drunken Satyrs.
Welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindelar, a dungeon master. I use he, him pronouns, and today we're doing one of those fun things that we do at Total Party Kill relatively regularly. We are starting a new adventure. We are delving further into the Candlekeep Mysteries collection of adventures. These are all adventures that take place at, or at least start, at Candlekeep Library, and then, surprise, a book requires a quest. So today we will be starting The Lore of LaRue. That's a proper noun, not a word that you should know, because I didn't know it. It's spelled L-U-R-U-E. Allow us to introduce our players who are going to be starting out this adventure and hopefully completing it, but no promises. James Thompson, welcome back to Total Party Kill.
It seems like only a few weeks ago that we were last here. I am James Thompson, he, him. I am playing Naiasa Nightweaver, she, her, who's a high elf rogue with a knife obsession and has now has a mild case of telekinesis.
Also joining us, Kathy Campbell.
Hello, friends. I am Kathy Campbell, and I am playing Hermioneigh Whipstriker, who is a centaur fighter. And we're both she, her, and excited to be level 8.
Next up, it's Micah Sargent.
Oh, hey! I play Ajguri Lonewalker Mako Tatahani, better known as Lonewalker, who is a Goliath paladin. Lonewalker and I both use he, him pronouns.
Also joining us, the ever-present Erica Ensign.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Always present.
Yes. I'm Erica Ensign, she, her. I play Frittath'a, she, her, a Goliath barbarian. Oh, who happens to be carrying a big rug of smothering named Cuddles. Cuddles is fine with any pronouns.
Cuddles.
And also joining us, we're very excited. Hopefully everyone will treat our newest player well. Welcome to Total Party Kill. Welcome to Candlekeep Mysteries. Welcome to the Lore of LaRue, Sebastian. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm Sebastian, playing a gnome rogue. Both of us are he, him. And yeah.
What's your gnome rogue's name?
Oh, Lovyn Oakenheart.
Lovyn Oakenheart.
That is a
Welcome.
great
to the
name.
group.
Such a good name.
Okay. Our adventure starts as they often do at Candlekeep in one of the many reading rooms in the Pillars of Pedagogy, where, there's often some downtime between adventures for people to hang out and leaf through books, do research, or just maybe catch a nap in a very, very quiet and relatively safe part of the world. Since it's been a while since some of these adventurers have adventured together, and we also have at least one new adventure here today. Maybe people could just go around and do a little bit of reminders of, what their character is up to, how people might recognize their character, whatever you might want to share. I'll let our listeners know that I believe our players are now level 8.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps
who
Erica
should
would
go
like to go first.
Tony, you still have to tell us who goes.
I know.
Perhaps Erica would like to go first.
I would. This was my idea, so I'll do it first. Yes. So Frittath'a is, as I said, a Goliath barbarian. She's tall and big, even for a Goliath. She's like 8 feet tall. She's got kind of medium brown skin and bright red hair. If you are watching the video, you can see my eyebrows. They are basically that color. And her hair is like short and spiky with like a mohawk in the middle, which makes her look even taller and bigger. One of the traits of this character is that she has the Haunted One background. So, like, from a distance, she looks like this really just big, imposing character. But when you look into her eyes, you can see she has, quote, faced unimaginable horror and is no stranger to darkness.
Just
Yes.
haven't we all?
Yes, she has seen some things. As a matter of fact, she was born on a different plane of existence.
Oh.
Athos. Yep. Yeah, which
Not one of the great planes of existence either.
It's a bad one.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I wasn't going to judge, but
you should judge. It's awful. A terrible creature called an Oni stole her brother, Rafflekish, one day and took Rafflekish to a different plane. And she has been, she left her family. You might recognize the names of some of her brothers if you listen to a lot of Total Party Kill, and has been traveling the plains trying to find her brothers. So basically, the first time she ever meets anybody, she says, "Have you seen my brother?" And yes, she's carrying a big rug. It looks like a lovely rug, but its name is Cuddles, and it can smother people. And she's holding it for a friend. Listen to previous episodes of Total Party Kill for details on Cuddles. Hashtag cross promotion, I guess. Also,
if only we had that sponsor deal from some kind of rug manufacturer who was also very okay with their rugs having a reputation for murder.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cuddling.
So yeah, she really, really likes to read and memorize poetry. Half the time she's muttering poetry under her breath or talking to things that don't look like they're actually there. So that's why she came to the library, because she wanted to read more poetry.
Candlekeep is the library on the Sword Coast, if not the known world, or at least the best library. So, limitless, hot and cold running poetry.
Yeah, so she's a very imposing and somewhat disturbing, spooky figure.
Micah, would you like to tell us a little bit about your character in case it's been a while since we've checked in with him?
I would love to. So, Ashguri Lonewalker Mako Tatahani, obviously a very long name. They, for some reason, took this out of the more recent editions of the book, but Goliaths have like naming conventions that are built in, and I loved that idea, so I kept it. And essentially, the last name, Mako Tatahani, is that of Lonewalker's tribe. Ashguri is the name given to him by his parents, but the middle name is a nickname that is granted at different points in one's life. And it is based on feats that you accomplish or things that you've done. And so, or even descriptions of who you are. And basically, Lonewalker grew up in a tribe of Goliaths. They live way off in the mountains. They're typically pretty insular, but for Lonewalker, he kind of, you can imagine those, the sort of, the movie is playing out in this moment of the child growing up and really not quite fitting in with the running and the fighting and the swords and the this and the that and the other, because Lonewalker was super curious. And so, you know, Lonewalker was the one that was out looking at plants and learning about trees and you know, birds, and even looking at other races in some cases. And the leader of the tribe was luckily a good person instead of a bad person, in that it wasn't like, oh, you're banished because you're not like the rest of us. It was, oh, this is an opportunity. So Lonewalker was granted the name Lonewalker as a person who walks alone, to go out and share the Goliath culture with other cultures, and then also learn more about other cultures. So is essentially kind of an ambassador of Goliaths. So if you've been following along, you will have seen some kind of growth in Lonewalker, from a place of kind of being on one's own to really getting into who, or opening up rather, and sort of bringing other people in. And on occasion, Lonewalker has made some connections with folks such that he has chosen to grant them a nickname, which is a very sort of, it's a big thing for a Goliath to do so. And also, as far as looks, Lonewalker, very tall, not as tall as Frittath'a. It has this sort of dusky purple skin, has some facial tattoos, and then has black dreads that are sort of typically pulled up into a ponytail behind him. He wears gleaming armor, as he is a paladin, and carries a big old warhammer. So quite the imposing figure, kind of scary when you first see him. But despite that, is very soft-spoken, or attempts to be. His voice kind of does rumble, but he's kind of a slow speaker who takes the time to consider his words. So the scholar amongst the warriors, if you will, that's Lonewalker.
I love that our party has two enormous
Yes!
Goliaths. Super cool. I forgot to mention that I created this character by doing entirely Twitter polls for like literally everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
the
gosh.
fact that like stats are weird and all over the place, blame Twitter.
Blame Twitter. Sebastian, would you like to tell us about Lovyn? And I know, you are new to Total Party Kill. We sometimes fill in backstories as we go, so no worries about whether it's short or long. We are excited to hear it.
Okay, sweet. I think Lovyn is very, like, carefree, very just prioritizes their own happiness above anything else. I'm picturing, like, I don't know if you've seen that meme. I think it's like a tweet, and it's this woman tweeting saying, like, I don't ever want to be doing something I don't want to do for even 1 second. Like, that's Lovyn. They're like, I just want to be happy. I just want to be carefree. Like, just do my own thing, kind of. Yeah, and they come from a family of, like, 10 plus siblings. So, they have, like, the parents where by the fourth kid, it's like, oh, they'll raise themselves. So for that reason, Lovyn is very, like, disconnected from their family and kind of travel a lot. Yeah, I think that's it.
Excellent. Now, I don't know, Sebastian, if you were briefed on this, but entrance into Candlekeep Library required donation of a book to the collection. You already got in. So you might think about what nature of book Lovyn might have had in order to pay entrance fee. Because some people have ready access to lots of books. Some people don't. Some people might have a very special, unique book. It has to be a book that they don't already have in their collection. That's how they
For example,
build their collection up.
Frittath'a's entrance book was a book of poetry that she had written herself and collected during her walking among the plains.
Yeah.
And Lonewalker's book was a book about Goliath culture, and given their pretty insular nature, there was not one that was like that that had already existed. So yeah, it can honestly be anything. I remember what was Jason Snell's characters? It was
Nis, or he
Nis.
has had a couple.
Nis's,
Yeah.
Nis, one of Nis's books was just puns or something like that. Yeah, a book of puns.
The first thing that comes to mind is a book of like tea recipes.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the recipe section of Candlekeep still needs, like, it's just, I feel like spell books, they must have like 1 million, but the other sections they've got to really they've got to work on, So
Yeah, but a really perfect tea is
Yeah.
magic.
James, would you like to tell us about Naiasa Nightweaver?
Yeah, I was looking at this and I created Naiasa originally something like 2 years ago. So I was going through some of the background stuff and I do not remember things like so
I had the same
this is
problem.
why Erica's having us do this.
I know. Naiasa's whole thing is she's an ex-assassin. She was raised in a family of assassins. And I brought up, I have a 4-page Google Doc on background.
Holy moly!
That was
Of course
written
you
with
do.
With Annette?
with Annette, because Annette's character Valanthe and Naiasa are sisters, and what happened was their parents split, so Naiasa went with her father and Valanthe went with her mother, so the two of them hadn't seen each other in ages. And yeah, there are pages. The document is called Naiasa and Valanthe, a sisterly backstory.
Aw.
And I feel like this is like a Marvel comic where we have lots of like see issue so and so. Did you happen to reconnect on Total
Yes.
Party Kill as your first canonical meeting was a murder mystery set on a train, correct?
No, I think Naiasa was not there. No, I think
No, Naiasa wasn't there.
the first
Oh,
meeting
okay.
was the spa adventure
Yeah,
that we
the
had.
spa.
Okay, that was the first appearance of Annette's character, but not the first meeting of Naiasa.
Yeah.
I haven't
okay.
even listened to that one yet, so I'm
That's
excited
a-
to get to it.
It's got the James Thompson special ending element to it. So,
It does, doesn't
no.
it?
yep.
I don't know what you mean, but we did kind of
I do.
we did kind of steal the spa at the end, and we are now running it together. I actually have in the document, we have the list of the menu at the spa of all the treatments.
Oh, wow.
And
I love that you continue. This is a living document.
and
Maybe
we've
this
got
should be a member
So,
special. They get
yeah.
access.
we have the
So when-
prices, everything.
So just checking, Naiasa, you're now a small business owner. You own a spa, but you got to take a break from the grind of running a spa. So you come hang out in the library.
I will say that the spa is kind of a front for a bit of assassinating.
I thought you
So,
were reformed.
well,
Light assassinating.
I mean, it's only
You got to pay the bills.
It's only
somehow.
bad people. Most people who come to the spa have a delightful time. Some percentage do not.
Okay.
But in terms of like the visuals, Naiasa generally wears black. She is 6'4",
Such a tall
light
group.
light blue skin, flame red hair, which isn't great when you're trying to do stealth. But anyway, apparently 250 years old. I didn't remember writing that. Is extremely athletic, very charismatic.
Just like you, James.
Yeah, I think she's actually everything that I am not. She didn't really attend any higher education, is not particularly smart, but looks good, and can jump out of the way of most things. Yeah, and
I like that note.
and she started out with a bit of a knife obsession and was collecting them and had monogrammed knives in one of the first adventures.
Interesting choice for an assassin.
Yes.
Right.
Well, some people
Those
have...
aren't the ones that are left behind,
Oh, okay.
obviously.
None of them
Yeah.
are left behind because they're expensive. But she grew out of the physical knives and can create psychic knives from her brain now. And as of turning level 8, also has telekinesis in some forms. So has mage hand, which is very good if you're trying to do sort of roguey assassin-y things. And can push people telekinetically, like off cliffs at a distance.
I have a character with that. It's the best. Just remember to use it literally every turn. It's great.
Yeah. I was just reading up on it, and I've got this big list of things that I can do that might be more interesting than just throwing a knife at somebody. But yes, that's Naiasa. She's kind of like my default character of me in my brain.
Mm-hmm. I think that brings us to Kathy Campbell, who's going to tell us about Hermioneigh.
Yes. So Hermioneigh is a centaur, which means she is nice and tall, about 7 foot, so shorter than Frittath'a and Lonewalker, but was kind of taller than most of the other female fighters in her tribe. They also tended to be more loners, because centaurs either hang out in small family groups or are individuals, and she didn't want to just stay with the centaurs and was like, oh my gosh, I don't really know how to read, but I want to be around really smart people because she's, big, strong, loves to fight and take care of the little people or people that need some help. So she's like, where else am I going to go? Let me learn to read in the biggest library in the world.
Cool.
And getting to meet new friends is great, and take out some of her rage on, people that hurt her people is great. She has kind of a silvery gray skin with bright pink hair that match her helmet that also has a big silver horn on it because she pretends to be a unicorn in her dreams. Loves her whip made out of like vines, because centaurs are very naturey, and it's great to be able to use the world around her to take care of business. So yeah, it's nice for her to hang out with other tall people that make her feel shorter.
Aw, happy to.
So, speaking of Hermione, I think our adventure is going to start with you. As I mentioned, you find yourselves, as you are often want to do, enjoying a quiet afternoon in one of the reading rooms in the Pillars of Pedagogy within Candlekeep Library. Big cavernous room, lots of desks and little lamps going off in every direction. There might be a few of the avowed, the librarians that staff Candlekeep, puttering about, collecting books and shelving things. There might be a few other adventurers off on the periphery of the room, but you find yourself in proximity to a group of adventurers that, are, if you have not adventured with before, might be kind of friends of friends situation. I think it's not uncommon to be kind of flipping through the stacks of dusty tomes that find themselves on a table in Candlekeep, just looking for something interesting. And nowhere is the advice, don't judge a book by its cover, more true than in Candlekeep, because lots of great books full of knowledge and wisdom and questionable poetry and excellent tea recipes sometimes come in
How
dusty,
dare you question the poetry?
sometimes come in dusty, faded covers that that have been stacked away here for decades, if not centuries. But as you're kind of shifting through a pile of books, just looking for something, one book in particular catches your eye because it is just so kind of visually different from all the other tomes in the stack. I'm just going to show you a copy of this, an image of this book. it kind of, even though it's presumably as old as any of the other tomes in Candlekeep, its vibrant color, it's this bright purple with kind of gold inlays, catches your eye, and maybe you even notice on the cover, in the purple leather, there is a elaborate gold image of a unicorn.
It was
Oh my God, Kathy!
What? Oh my gosh, it's almost like Tony saw what was up in the next adventure and invited me
All
just
of this,
for this.
all of this was preordained. Yes.
Yeah, I have to ask a question. So we're in this reading room. Somebody in the live chat said, I hope that the ceilings are tall, now that we know how
They're
tall all of
cavernous.
these
They're
characters are.
good
Okay.
20, 30 feet above.
That's
You
good.
have to
That's
hold
good.
a lot of books.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
Sebastian,
really tall.
Sebastian, how tall is your character? I want to know like the comparison here.
Shorter for a gnome, so like 3'1".
Yeah.
Definitely the shortest.
So
Yeah.
for literal or relative giants, and then a gnome. So, yep.
All right, do not pick up the gnome.
Yep.
It's rude.
That's rude.
You don't
Yeah,
have
no,
permission.
nobody's allowed to pick me up.
Yep.
All right, so who finds this book?
Hermione finds this book. It's a pretty hefty looking tome. It's 12 inches wide, 16 inches tall. Looks like it's a few hundred pages. There's some kind of big fancy turquoise bookmarks sticking out of various places. It's got one of those lovely little clasps to keep it closed. And as mentioned,
Fancy.
purple leather with a golden unicorn on the cover.
Ooh, this one's pretty.
I'm not going to ask if it's unicorn leather, but I am wondering.
I think that would be unlucky.
That would probably be very
Also, I don't
unlucky,
think unicorns are
but-
purple. I don't know.
You
Let
know
me
what? I'm
die.
sure.
Die.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But-
Yeah.
Oh, great. Now we're problem solving how to kill a unicorn. Thanks, everybody. Really tried to steer us away from that. And
It's not a
you all
problem.
were
It's an
quick to help.
opportunity.
An opportunity. Yeah.
So, Tony, really quick. I have a feeling that you said this at the beginning, and then we were
I
all
say a lot
kind
of
of
things.
chatting. It's just Hermione that is like, what? Where is everybody? Are we all just around?
Yeah,
looking
you're
at
in the
different
in
books?
vicinity looking through books. You know,
Probably,
having
yeah,
a quiet afternoon.
Usually Frittath'a is sitting in a corner muttering to herself and muttering to something next to her that you can't see.
Naiasa is probably reading something with a lot of pictures. You know, some kind of gothic tome.
It's that you're halfway through the Doonesbury collection. Yep. Check.
I was thinking more sort of like
Calvin and Hobbes.
Batman, whatever the Candlekeep equivalent of Batman is.
The Candlekeep equivalent of Batman is the
Batman.
Black Viper of Waterdeep. Yeah.
Well,
Ooh.
if there is a book
World
of
building.
if there is a book of illustrated adventures,
There is.
then that is what Naiasa is reading.
Okay.
You occasionally hear a little rumble of, and you see that Lonewalker is reading a large book of puns.
Is that the book of puns that you put into the library when we first
Not
arrived?
I, but
Not
It was
that was
Continuity.
Nis.
Yeah.
That's right.
Jason Snell. He watches over
Yes.
us wherever we are.
Yes, he does.
Always. So Hermione is getting better at reading, obviously, because now that she is a level 8 and been in Candlekeep for a very long time, she's ready to branch out of the kids' versions of books, and so is excited to kind of like. So she pulls down this pretty purple unicorny bit of magic and puts it on one of the fancy like book holders that they have in all of the libraries, of course, and goes to open it up because that's what you do with books.
I'm just going to ask you, can you make a quick history check with advantage, Hermione, in case you might recognize the specific unicorn imagery on the cover of the book?
All right. Let's see. Thank goodness it was with advantage because I rolled a 2 and a 13, but I have a -1 in history, so 12.
All right. I will tell you, with the 12, you recognize that the symbol of on the cover of the book was the symbol of a famous city far from Candlekeep known as Silvery Moon. That's one word. Silvery Moon, which I think with the 12 has a unicorn as their image. You have a feeling that unicorn has some kind of name and significance to the people and city of Silvery Moon, but you don't remember that right now. As you flip open the book, I don't know. You've spent some time in Candlekeep. There's a variety of weird books. So perhaps it's not too surprising that as you flip open the book, at first the page in front of you appears blank, but then writing appears on it as if somebody is writing in the book in front of you. And the text kind of slowly appears in front of you, Hermione, perhaps at a pleasing speed relative to, how you'd like to read. So this is the text that appears in front of you that I will now read to you. Our story starts during the time leading up to the winter solstice on the final night of Uktar in the year 374 Dale Reckoning. Dale Reckoning is just a way that they refer to their years. A nearly full moon rises behind wispy clouds as star-speckled sky darkens against a fading horizon. It seems silent and still here in the heart of the forest, but to anyone who knows the forest well, that silence can be misleading. When you're ready to proceed, turn the page.
Oh, is this like a choose your own
I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Does it go bing?
It does. When you're ready to proceed, turn the page. Bong.
Because it's not reading it out loud. That was just
it makes the bong noise.
Turnovers? Oh, okay,
I've decided
good.
it makes the bong noise. And in fact, that possibly catches the attention of all your friends, is one of the books making a bong noise.
Did your book just bong?
Yeah, apparently it says it's ready for me to turn the page.
Are you ready to turn the page?
I guess so. Let's find out.
Naiasa wanders over.
Should we wait just a moment to check? Caution is perhaps a good thing. I sense magic on this book.
Well, the book did make a bong noise and the text did appear, so there's at least some low-level magic happening there.
Perhaps I could take a moment to check it out.
Just open it. What's the worst that could happen?
It's already opened.
Would you like to roll Arcana on the book, Lonewalker?
So Lonewalker starts to... No, actually, no. Yeah, I'll just do it. A 10 on Arcana.
With a
Frittath'a
10 in Arcana, you are certain that this
rolls
book
an
is
Arcana.
magic, but you do not know the nature of the enchantment or anything else.
Frittath'a also rolled. She did not even think about caution at all until Lonewalker mentioned it, and then was like, "Oh, right, that thing."
Yeah, caution.
And rolled a 26.
Oh my god!
Natural 20 on my very first.
Frittath'a, you sense powerful enchantments that have been placed upon this book. Obviously, the fact that it you see the text spelling out and it's made sound, so that's magic. But there is in fact more magic in this old book. You get the sense, studying this book and looking at the kind of some of the runes worked into the cover and the fancy filigree around the spine of the book, that this book is connected to another plane of existence, specifically like a demi-plane, not one of the real planes. So it's like a small,
like a field.
Well,
my brother could be
Demi-field?
Your brother could be there.
It's a there is a small plane of existence that is accessed via this book. It's unlikely that plane of existence, for example, has anyone that lives there, but it is there's a magical construct basically inside this book that could be accessed by the readers.
Do you relay that to us?
Yes, I will relay it, and I will say, please turn the page. I need to find my brother. I have been to planes. I need to go to this one.
Lonewalker will say, "It would appear an adventure awaits, but perhaps we could look around for more to join the party."
Looking around the library, you notice that a good number of adventurers who really just need a day off have started scooting their chairs further and further away from the crew. As is not uncommon in Candlekeep. Not everybody wants to go on an adventure every day, and the various members of the Avowed, the monk-like librarians who maintain Candlekeep, have all realized that they are needed elsewhere. But there does seem to be a small collection of adventurers, some of whom you've traveled with before in your immediate vicinity. Adventures like Hermioneigh and Naiasa Nightweaver and Lonewalker and Frittath'a, and hey, Lonewalker, somebody you may have encountered in your travels, known as Lovyn.
And you actually hear Lonewalker kind of gasp. It's almost like, I don't know if you've all seen The Office, or if some of you have seen The Office, but there's a part where Dwight is talking to someone else and Angela kind of shows up behind and then he looks over and he's like, oh, because Angela's right there. It's a little bit like that, but more of a pleased gasp. And Lonewalker says, "My Alicki smiles upon me. My friend, Lovyn, what are you doing here?"
Earlier, when I was eavesdropping on you guys, I climbed to the top of the bookshelf and was just kind of like peeking over, watching you guys look into the book. So I'm just like at the top of the shelf.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
Lonewalker's looking up and saying,
Literally, what are you doing there?
Lovyn, what are you doing there?
I'm like, hey down there. Just catching up on some reading. What are you up to?
Yeah.
It would appear an adventure is on the horizon. Do you have the time to join us?
How difficult is this?
It's rated for
time-consuming?
5 level 8 players.
Does the sky rumble and say that? Because Lonewalker looks
No.
over to Frittath'a to see if you got any vibe of how difficult this was going to be.
Frittath'a just looks up and says, "We will do the hard parts."
Fine.
You do know that, sometimes when, as some of you are Candlekeep regulars, sometimes when you go on an adventure quest, but as given to you by a book, there are various gifts and blessings imparted upon the successful reader.
He means money. There's a lot of money.
No,
Yes.
actually, Lovyn is very food motivated.
Oh, okay.
Just throwing that out there.
Sometimes we have found sandwiches.
Yes.
In
Hoagie, meatball subs.
yeah, they are
Meatball
more
subs
frequent than
abound.
you might imagine.
Certainly more
Perhaps there
frequent
will
than I
be
ever
new-
imagined.
New foods, new cuisine in this demi-plane.
Now,
Sold.
I just because now there's a collection of you around the book. Does anyone else want to make a history check on the symbol on the cover of the book before the page is
Sure.
turned?
Should I have disadvantage since I'm not actually from here?
Yeah, probably. Thank you
Okay.
for suggesting that.
History, is it?
Yeah.
11.
Anyone else?
Naiasa will
Higher
have
than
a go.
I don't have I'm not good with history.
Anyone
I'm
can
not-
roll high.
I'm not good, but I'm sometimes lucky, which is a useful trait.
All right, I'll roll 2 just to see.
I probably can't roll again, right?
15.
I got a 15,
15.
as well. So
Oh,
All right,
nice. 2 15s.
I think Naiasa
That makes 30.
and yep, that is how that works. Naiasa and Lonewalker, you have traveled far and wide, and you recognize the crest of Silvery Moon, which you know is a city far to the north and east of Candlekeep, and it's basically very inland from the Sword Coast, which is probably where, even if you've traveled a lot, you've probably mainly been contained to the Sword Coast. But it is a faraway city that is, probably often spoken of with some degree of reverence. It is a city that is in our realm, but based upon like a lost ancient elven city. And it's a city where people of lots of different backgrounds and races and cultures come to kind of mingle together in this kind of place in isolation in the woods. It's a city with a lot of ties to elves and kind of peaceful woodland creatures. And I think you might even specifically know with the 15 that the symbol of the crest for Silvery Moon is one of their deities. It is Lurue, Lurue, the unicorn. And it's like the unicorn, like
Oh,
the first
the
unicorn,
capital T,
like the first unicorn, like the original unicorn,
the OG
the OG unicorn, like the idea that all other unicorns are based upon, who is basically kind of a lesser deity of the woodlands, and kind of peaceful cohabitation in the woodlands. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I know I relay that information. I don't know if
Naiasa Nightweaver keeps it to herself.
Naiasa Nightweaver doesn't tell anybody. Just knows what's going on.
Thankfully, knows nothing that Lonewalker didn't already know. All right. Will somebody turn the page of the
Absolutely.
book? All right. As you turn the page, a glowing portal kind of grows out of the book. Occupying a nice 10-foot high space in the vicinity of the book. Several other adventurers take this opportunity to leave the Pillars of Pedagogy, headed across the courtyard to have a drink at the bar, not wanting to get mixed up in whatever nonsense you all are about to do. So you know that if you step through this portal, you will enter a demiplane, a magical realm. A small magical realm, like a tiny, quaint, starter realm that basically lives inside this book.
Hermione goes right through the door.
And Lonewalker follows for sure.
I think Naiasa will just say...
Frittath'a will go last, just to make sure.
Naiasa will say something like, a portal from a book, must be Saturday. And just walks straight through.
All right.
Wait, Lovyn, did you go
Lovyn
through?
Oakenheart,
Is the portal above the book?
I think it would be like
nicely
on the adjacent to the book, so it's like it starts at floor level. I think it's an accessible portal.
I'm just gonna dive.
All right, you dive in.
You're diving from the bookshelf down.
Nice. Just as Frittath'a was about to she was just gesturing and then boom. All right, well, here we go.
All right. The sparkling light of the portal is a little disorienting as your eyes kind of clear and your vision returns. You find yourself in kind of just like a beautiful little meadow near the edge of a sprawling forest. There are some signs that this realm is, though it seems to depict a real place, there's some signs that this is not kind of real, and that sometimes you look at the trees and they don't look quite right.
Are we in a cartoon?
You're basically kind of like in a cartoon inside the book. You notice you might even be kind of starting to stretch your legs and walk around the pasture a little bit, and it's like you feel like a little bit of resistance depending on which direction you head in the open pasture here. The sky up above is kind of clear and peaceful. You hear the sounds of birds chattering in the woods. Kind of sounds like they might be on a loop.
If somebody is a quaint little thing.
Is the sky clear and blue, or is it an unnatural color?
The sky is blue and clear, so it seems like this is at least a simulation of your realm, your world. You are still in. Well, you're not, but you're in. It is not this is not the Feywild or some other magical alien realm to you. Maybe somebody would like to make a nature check to have a sense of where you are.
While I'm rolling, do we also look? Has our physical appearance changed?
Oh,
or do we look exactly the same?
You look exactly the same, and in fact, you are so kind of realistic and authentic that it's like you don't quite match up with the background around you.
Okay, I rolled a 16.
All right. Hermione, you are just taking a look at the grass and some of the foliage around you and maybe listening to the birds, and you get the distinct sense that you are not near Candlekeep. You are not on the Sword Coast. You are somewhere quite far away, and you even maybe recognize that some of the trees and birds that you hear are native to areas of the continent that are very far to the north and east from the Sword Coast, an area that is referred to as the High Forest. Yeah.
I think Lone Walker, just to be safe, given the experiences he's had in the past, is going to just do a cheeky little detect good and evil, because he's got plenty of those to burn. So basically, anything affected by the Hallow spell or any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet is something that I would be able to sense.
Oh, is this also the one where noxious evil smells bad to you and good rings like heavenly music in your ears?
Yes, yes.
Remind me again what kinds of creatures you detect with...
This would be celestial, fiend, and undead.
All right. There are no celestial fiend or undead within range of you, and in general, I would say that the place smells pleasing, and there's a just kind of a faint, kind of pleasant kind of tone to this world. And as you are kind of surveying the area around you, you do sense movement, Lone Walker, kind of on the tree line to the north of you. Presumably not celestial, undead, or fiend movement.
One of you with better eyes than me. Perhaps you could perceive is the word that's coming to me. That area to the north.
Frittath'a is muttering to something that you don't see next to her. Perception -1. So definitely not going to be the one to do this.
Yeah, same. I'm also -1, and
so tall and so nearsighted our group is.
Wow.
I rolled an 8.
The short one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Close to the ground.
I rolled.
I just got a 21.
I rolled a 20. So
okay, Lovyn, Oakenheart, you spy with your little eyes coming through the brush, maybe kind of waiting on the periphery of the forest to see you before you see them, but you see them before, just as they see you. You see there are 3 creatures kind of peering out from the tree line, and they seem to be, they're smaller than the average size of your group. These seem to be kind of woodland.
Yeah, the average is skewed, isn't it?
Yeah, the average is really skewed. Woodlandy looking creatures. They've got horns on their head. They've got some interesting facial hair. They're humanoid, but they seem to have kind of goat-like legs. And there's 3 of them, and they're kind of, hanging out on the edge of the woods. I don't know if they know that you see them. They seem to be curious about you. The 5 of you standing there in this lovely pasture.
I'm gonna pretend not to see them and kind of tell Lone Walker, like, down here.
Lone Walker kneels down. Oh, it looks like he's sort of adjusting his boot.
Okay.
Nice.
And what did you say, Lovyn?
3 o'clock. We have guests.
Oh, Lone Walker will look over, and I don't know. I'm trying to think of how we sort of alert. I guess maybe from Lone Walker, we'll get all of you looking at me, and I just sort of look over with my eyes to where they seem to be.
As you look over, the environment around you kind of shifts a little bit, and it's certainly not at a rate that is natural, but maybe it is the standard for this plane in which you find yourselves. The sun, which was, probably a late afternoon, kind of rapidly sets, dipping below the horizon, and a rising full moon illuminates the darkened sky and fills this little clearing with moonlight. The 3 creatures on the tree line seem to chose this moment to kind of wander out, looking at all of you. They don't seem to be armed. 2 of them seem to be carrying jugs, and they seem to be, well, a little incapacitated. One of them greets you. I guess I'll just tell you what this language is in case anyone speaks it. Does anyone speak the language Sylvan?
Ooh, me.
Yay!
I do.
I don't think I do. Where
it's
are
like
languages?
this was made for you.
All right.
Oh, there we go. Nope, I don't.
Sylvan is the language of the Fae, suggesting that these are creatures of Fae origin. And the lead of this group, in fact, I think Hermioneigh, you might recognize that these creatures are Satyrs, which are they're Fae creatures. They are kind of half human, half goat. And, I mean, look, there's all kinds of different people out there in the world, but satyrs are known for being pretty hard partiers.
Party animals, some might say.
And the lead satyr greets you in a language that I guess the rest of your party doesn't necessarily understand. The lead satyr says, "Hey, bro.
Hey, cousin."
I'm Tragos. These are my brosifs, Artelio and Fanangio, and are you cool?
Could you say those names for us again, Tony?
Artelio and Funagio.
Artelio, Funagio,
and Tragos.
And Tragos. I know that I don't necessarily know them yet, but
yeah.
As they're introducing themselves, probably only Naiasa would hear this, but under her breath, Frittath'a says, "Through the meadows, through the valleys, goes the satyr caroling." Poetry.
Naiasa looks blank.
Are you cool?
Hermione says, "Yeah, obviously we are all very cool."
And you are speaking in native Sylvan.
Correct.
So, we've been out, we've been having like a great time, and we totally got harshed by some ravens that just would not let us alone. And like, we're not up for fighting ravens, like, why can't we just talk it out? But like, we're looking for maybe travel with some other people so the ravens won't mess with us. It's not hard. Our home is kind of a ways from here, and we've had a lot to drink. The two other satyrs belch loudly.
I know how that goes. Yeah, if you would like to join us, let me confer with my friends.
I mean, only if okay with you're headed where we're headed. We don't want to like put anybody out, but like,
So Hermione relays to the rest of the group pretty much everything that was just said.
Okay.
I think Naiasa is just curious as to whether they have enough beverage for all of us.
Would you like to approach Artelios? Or
I mean, like, I can't speak the language, so I'm going to need some simultaneous translation. But
I think that there are some things that cross.
I sort of raise a hand and make an expectant kind of like,
Artelio, one of the satyrs, says, well, he's speaking in Sylvan. Sprechen Sie Elven?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, Elven. I can do that. You want a drink?
I'd love one.
All right. He beckons for you to approach.
I still don't understand any of this.
All right.
Yeah, I now don't understand because I don't speak Elven.
Funny.
Yeah.
He holds the jug up over his head and prepares to pour something into your mouth.
I
don't like that.
How tall are these people?
I'm not that tall.
So I'm 6'4", so I'm gonna have to basically lie on the ground, I think.
All right. Okay. They think this is great. You lie on the ground and they pour
open wide.
I think that's what you, I don't want to tell you you're doing. I think that's what you said you were doing, right?
Yep. I mean, like,
yep.
This is
all right.
Characters make choices.
Lonewalker looks over at Frittath'a.
Funagio jump up and down as they pour wine out of the jug into your mouth. Give me a quick Constitution check there, Naiasa Nightweaver.
Saw that coming.
Hopefully for drunkenness and not poison.
Yeah.
That is a 19.
All right.
Sorry. By the way, you get everybody who's within 10 feet of me gets a +3 bonus on all saving throws.
+3. Wow.
Nice. Yeah, +3 bonus on all saving throws.
All right.
Wow.
It's pleasing wine. You're a little buzzed. It's maybe a little sweeter than you would like. I don't know. But yeah, you are not in any way mechanically incapacitated by it.
I would say Naiasa, while lying on the ground, just gives a thumbs up to the group.
Mm-hmm. All right. The satyrs are all high-fiving and think this is just the best thing in the world. Yeah. One of us. One of us.
Okay, so did Hermione? You did tell us that they need our help.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so basically asking if they can come hang out with us and if we can help them with their bird problem.
Yeah, we're headed back. We live at Polvarth Plateau. It's like a couple hours north, I think. We're a little lost. And you know, like those ravens really chased us for a while. So like, I don't know. It's good to have new friends though, right? The other satyrs say in Elven, friends.
I asked Hermione, can you please ask them if they have seen someone who looks like me?
I will absolutely do that. Yes.
But a boy.
Yeah.
If they point to me, I'll scream. Micah will scream, not Lonewalker.
Yeah, Hermione is like, hey, this is my buddy Frittath'a is looking for her brother. He looks just like her. That's part of the reason why we're here. Have you seen anyone like her? Or any of us, really?
Tragos kind of studies you, Frittath'a, like really carefully. It's kind of swaying
expectant. I have
side to side a little bit as he does.
My haunted eyes. It's like, remember, commoners want to be good to me and give me help because I look so haunted.
And he relays. So just to check, they can speak Sylvan, which I guess only Hermione speaks, which is the language of the Fae. They also speak Elven. Who else speaks? So Naiasa speaks Elven.
Lonewalker speaks Elven.
Yeah.
Lonewalker speaks Elven.
I speak Elven.
You speak Elven. So Frittath'a is the only one who can't directly converse with them. So they're happy to speak Elven if that will help you out. And they'll be like, I don't think so. I mean, I'd love to help you out, bro, but there have been some strange new people in the woods causing trouble and stirring things up. I wouldn't like to, cast aspersions, but maybe your brother's among them. I mean, how does her brother feel about animals? And I assume you might relay that to Frittath'a.
Yeah.
Animals? Animals here are very different from animals where we come from. So Rafflekeep would probably be mystified.
No, don't want to prejudge anybody or anything, but do you think maybe her brother is the kind of person that would kill a lot of animals?
I don't know.
Only in self-defense.
Because somebody, a lot of somebodies have been coming through the woods, killing everything. It's really not cool. Not like how we like to live. We're all about harmony, man.
Yeah.
We should get these people. Says Frittath'a.
Yeah,
She's starting to get mad.
Let's take care
We must stamp them out.
Let's take care of the birds first, and then we can take care of the people that are killing animals. How about that?
Okay.
Fine.
And so you travel with Tragos, Artelios, and Funagios, the three drunken satyrs who just want to get home without being attacked by birds. They are, I don't know if this is, may not be your preferred way to travel, but, they take a kind of winding path through the woods to the north. They tell you lots of confusing stories that don't totally make any sense about what they did yesterday. A lot of satyr jokes that don't translate great. And they insist on stopping roughly every 20 minutes to have a break and drink more wine. So it's
no wonder why they're getting attacked. They're not hurrying through.
Yeah.
Frittath'a will try some of the wine too.
Yeah, it's good wine.
Yeah. Naiasa will vouch for it. I think I've decided that Naiasa is just down to party. This is a new personality trait.
Okay. Just like you, James.
Yes.
Again,
now that she runs a spa, she needs to let her hair down and relax when she's not doing business.
You gotta relax professionally now.
Yeah.
Right.
Relaxation.
And you can't relax at your work, even if that work is for relaxing people.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. So true, people. I will suggest that anyone who is heavily imbibing in the wine may need to make some constitution checks to avoid being compromised by that.
That
Not
that's
heavily.
just the price you pay.
Lone Walker is not going to drink.
All right.
What about Lovyn? Is Lovyn a drinker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we, yeah. Okay. All right. Everybody, give me a Constitution check if you're drinking. If you
All right.
get less than 12, there's gonna be some things.
A check or a saving throw, Tony? Just to clarify.
I guess it's a saving throw.
So
Okay, so +3, everybody.
I rolled a 1.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, but you already rolled before.
But he said he was drinking a lot.
That's right.
It is true.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a 4.
Well, I got a 22.
So it's total 7 for Lovyn with
All
my
right.
+3 bonus.
So
All right.
while Naiasa was down to party, I don't think she's done this very often.
No, this is,
It's that rookie
yeah.
mistake
Freshman
of drinking
yeah.
too much.
Mhm.
freshman in college.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the,
I think Lone Walker and I are going to end up carrying everything.
Yeah. I am going to say, unfortunately, some of you have had a little too much, and you find yourself, it's hard. You're in a new plane. You don't know what the rules are here.
Maybe the oxygen mix is different. It's like going to Denver.
Sometimes it affects you differently than it would have if you were in your own plane of existence. And so you find yourself suddenly, perhaps surprisingly heavily inebriated, and this comes with some mechanical disadvantages. Specifically, you have disadvantage on ability checks, and your speed is halved. And some of your
We're not going that fast anyway.
some of your companions may choose to carry you, depending on how annoying it is that your speed is halved.
If anybody requests, Frittath'a will absolutely carry them. Also, she has a giant, area rug just over her shoulder. So probably Lovyn could just sit on the rug and just take a ride. If you
At this stage of things, the Satyrs themselves, the original party animals, suggest that you've had enough. But of course, we'll continue to serve you because they don't want to be bad hosts.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, Hermione didn't
I have a
drink.
lengthy table of things where we can progress from here for those who wish to continue.
Hermione didn't drink any because she wanted to make sure to take care of everyone around her, and because of the birds, the word that the Satyrs used for the birds was kind of a scary sounding bird. Obviously it
Raven.
scared them, but not raven. And it was a murder of birds since there were 3 of them. So she was like, I'm gonna protect the babies and make sure that everyone's okay. So she can give all 3 of the Satyrs a ride on her back.
Okay.
Too.
So you're traveling for a couple hours through the woods. At times there's little game trails you can follow. Other times you're just kind of heading along open, just through the woods, and it's slower going. And you are after a while find yourselves following a stream north for a while, and it's at this point it looks like maybe there even used to have been an ancient road or path that followed the stream north. Give me a quick perception check, everybody.
13.
I rolled a
24.
17.
I got a 0.
Holy moly.
I rolled a 5.
Natural 20 from
Lovyn,
Lovyn.
again, great with the perception. Other people perhaps are distracted by a particularly involved nonsensical story from the Satyrs, but Lovyn, you get the sense that you are being watched once again from the woods, and even specifically, that there are creatures to your immediately lying in wait up the cliffside to your east that look like they are about to attack the group.
I guess I stop everyone.
All right. You tell everyone to stop. The party immediately comes to a halt as, at the same time, 3 burly-looking men clad in skins, their faces painted with paint and wielding axes, launch themselves out of the woods, screaming and attacking the group. And I put them in the initiative order at the very end and put their tokens on the map, mainly so we don't forget about them. But I can assure you that the three Satyr brothers, Tragos, Artelios, and Funagio, are not going to be combatants because of their peaceful nature and severely inebriated status, which is what encouraged them to recruit you as traveling companions here in the woods.
/ bodyguards.
Yeah. Now, this was intended to be an ambush with these berserkers flinging themselves out of the woods as they laid in wait for you to stroll past them. But thanks to the keen perception of Lovyn Oakenheart, it is not a surprise attack. You both knew each other were there. They have launched themselves and they are just on the edge of your group, but they don't get to go first. They don't get a surprise attack. And in fact, Lovyn Oakenheart, you are the first to react to these three berserkers. They are big, burly men with painted faces, strange. They're clad in weird, like, animal hides that are all kind of mismatched and not tailored well, and they're carrying large great axes.
They're okay.
They're okay.
There are 3 very large companions between me and them. Is
Yes.
it possible for me to slink away to that tree?
Yeah, I think so. You could go hide in a tree if you wanted.
I kind of want to do like sneak attack.
Okay.
So, like, kind of run around Lonewalker and up into this tree.
It's possible that they were not even super aware of your presence, given your diminutive size relative to the rest of the group. So you have plenty of space to make it to a tree and climb up into a tree. Give me a quick stealth check to see if you have avoided their awareness. You are looking to beat a 10 to hide in a tree. 15. All right, yeah. They do not know where you are in the tree. Maybe they caught a glimpse of somebody running for the tree, but you have disappeared into the leaves.
Sweet. I guess I'm gonna do sneak attack.
All right, and then from the leaves comes an attack.
Bum, bum, bum.
And also, do you want to attack the one nearest to the tree? Is that your preferred target? All right.
I imagine I have like a dagger in each hand, and I just drop down from the
All
tree
right.
and just
You run up
go
in your
crazy.
tree and then come down from the tree. No one expects that. All right.
Did I do that right?
Yeah, I see dagger.
Oh, you do? Oh, yeah, there it is. Yep, 14 to hit. Does that hit a...
Yeah, so these
man?
burly men are clad in hide armor, which is not, I mean, it's not like it's bad armor, but it's not, there's better armor out there, and so a 14 will hit a burly man.
Nice. So then it looks like Lovyn, you did 7 piercing damage, but you get... Tony, do you want to give him that original sneak attack damage
Sure.
that he rolled?
Yeah.
So 19 sneak attack
So it's
damage
7
and 7
plus
piercing
19?
damage. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Lovyn, feel free to describe what this looks like, but I imagine that you drop out of the tree and just plunge your dagger into the back of this big burly berserker.
Yep, pretty much.
He howls as you plant a dagger like right in one of his shoulders, and there is a decent sized spurt of blood. He is not bloodied, but he's real unhappy. So
I think Lonewalker says, "I'm a little afraid."
I'll say one thing about the sneak attack is we don't actually need to hide, because if the enemies are within 5 feet of somebody else in the party, we can automatically do a sneak attack. So, but hiding is
that
cool.
was way cooler.
Yeah, your way was very cool.
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing from lying down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. We don't usually get to see rogues do true sneak attacks like that, because they usually rely on the fact that there's somebody else standing next to the enemy. And so to actually see you climb a tree and go from there is pretty neat.
Yeah.
So
Lovyn,
basically,
anything else on your
excellent
turn, or is
roleplay.
that it?
Yes, exactly.
Well, I imagine like when I dropped down on him, I was behind him. So then, like, after I stab him in the shoulder and drop to the ground, I scurry behind the tree trunk. So when he turns around, there's nobody there.
There's nobody there.
Ooh,
All right.
nice.
Now, he may go looking behind that tree trunk. We'll see what happens. Frittath'a, you are, and I apologize, I kind of just dropped your tokens wherever. Feel free to adjust if you think you're in a different place on the map.
No, I would have totally been in the back.
That's where
Just
I
like,
imagined
I
you'd be,
preferred.
Erica.
Yeah, I always,
Yeah.
I like to watch the rear and make
All right.
sure
You're in the
nobody
rear.
sneaks up on us.
There is a berserker in your vicinity. There's also, I guess they are Hermione. Are the satyrs still on your back, or have they scurried off at the side of
They
danger?
probably have scurried off to go
Or maybe
hide
they
under a
fell
bush.
off as you got ready.
Startled.
Yeah.
Reared
So
up.
there's a heap of drunken satyrs at your feet, Frittath'a.
Are they? Would they be right there though, or would they be a little closer to where Hermione
We'll put
is?
them up there.
Okay, good.
For no particular reason except
Yeah.
to.
Okay, so Frittath'a does not like this at all. Gonna take a quick step this way and bust out in a rage because I do not like being attacked by random strangers in a book. That is just rude.
Rude. Yeah.
Yes, and I have a storm aura, which means that when I start my rage, I gain a 10-foot aura effect, and which is basically like the fires of the desert, the heat of my upbringing just explodes from me. And as that happens, any creature within my aura takes 3 fire damage.
All right. The berserker will take 3 fire damage.
Rawr! This was rude. Frittath'a has had to learn a lot of manners over the years because she did not start with them.
I love the idea of you like calling out the different sorts of behaviors. That was rude. That was kind. That's just, I love it.
All right. So, and then in addition to that, going to attack with, I have a maul that's just like a great big stick with, I think it's like a piece of obsidian, just like a chunk of obsidian tied to it with ropes.
Nice.
Or like leather of some sort. And yeah, so taking this maul and just swinging it, trying to smash it down on top of the head of this thing. Oh, I rolled a 19 on the die, so that's like a 26, I think.
That'll hit a burly man.
I'm hoping that hits. Yeah, that's right. We already had a 14 hit previously. So I get to roll damage, which is 7 plus 4 is 11. Yes. I was looking to you guys to check my math for me, and nobody helped.
I don't make an app that's a calculator.
I would use delightful apps like that, except I love dice so much.
Yeah.
Like the actual dice.
What was the final
11
11 damage to this?
That was 11
berserker?
Yes.
All right.
From the maul, I think it's bludgeoning damage. I don't know what these little icons mean. And that is it for my actually, I think now that I have done that, I'm going to move to between these two. I will point out that the aura does not do damage unless I like actively make it do damage. So yeah, I think it might when it first pops off, but there we go.
All right.
That's it for my turn.
Kathy, it's Hermione's turn.
Alrighty. Hermione is going to attack the berserker that Lovyn went after for now. Going to start with my short sword, like you do. 17.
17 hits.
5 plus 4 is 9 points of damage.
Ow.
Then going to whip it good. With a 19, which is also going to hit. And rolling my new fancy D4.
Fancy D4.
It's squishy, but it's not.
Got a 6
All right.
points of damage.
I will tell
I thought
you.
you got a 6 on your new fancy D4.
It has
and I
a
was gonna say,
modifier.
There's a problem.
Yeah. I rolled a 2 plus
Gotcha.
4 is 6.
No, I trust you.
I will tell you, your combined assaults between Hermione and Lovyn have bloodied that first berserker.
Excelente.
Well, things not a great start for the berserkers who jumped out of the woods and got stabbed a lot. But it is their turn. This is where it all turns around. The berserkers are all going to start by going berserk. When berserkers go berserk, they are reckless and they have advantage in all their attacks, but they also grant advantage to all of you. So please note that any attack you make against the berserkers in the next round, you have advantage. But the berserkers are just going to go berserk, and I think they are going to attack Hermioneigh twice and Frittath'a once. Let me just check. What am I doing? I'm rolling great axe attacks. Each one gets to attack a single time.
They're just okay.
They're meh axes.
Meh axes. All right, Frittath'a, here we go. I have rolled a 2 and a 1. All right. Better luck over here with Hermione. First attack. That's going to be pretty good. That's going to be, math is a 23 to hit.
Ouch. Yep, that hits.
And the second attack is going to be a 17.
Nope, does not hit.
All right. They are just chopping at the air with their axes. One of them clips you for 11 damage. Pretty good. A solid axe hit on you.
Meh.
All right. Well, fine.
It's a meh axe. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Naiasa, it is your turn. There are a decent number of berserkers in your near vicinity. One of them is kind of right up in your grill already.
I think Naiasa is going to be sort of woken up from her stupor, is going to see this berserker running towards her, and natural reaction with her new abilities, she is going to shove the berserker right next to her telepathically. So as a bonus action, you can try to telekinetically. Sorry, I got my tellies.
Yeah, telepathically, you just
look,
telling him
on.
about.
Look,
I'm going to shove you later. Telekinetically, you shove him.
Look, I'm drunk. What can I say? And so target must succeed on a strength saving throw DC 14 or be moved 5 foot towards or away from you. So I'm going to shove them towards that cliff.
Now that's a cliff up that they jump down from.
Yes.
All right. Just making sure.
No, I'm not trying to push them off the cliff. I'm just trying to get them out of my face.
This berserker is caught completely unsurprised by a telekinetic shove, and so I guess he kind of falls backward up against the cliff.
And let's see.
Now that doesn't.
It does not provoke
opportunity attacks. Okay.
No.
Gotcha.
Because he was not. He did not choose to move.
For the sneak attack rules,
you wouldn't get sneak attack now because there's nobody.
There's no against that.
Maybe you want to retcon that to do it in the other order: attack first and then shove.
Well, I was thinking because my knives are a range thing.
Do they have to be? Because they're psychic. Maybe
I
they do.
think they do because they're psychic. So that was why I was pushing him out of the way first. But I can throw them at anybody, so I can do the sneak attack on the one at the top.
Totally.
So the one next to Lovyn, I will attempt to throw. And now I was disadvantaged, but then we've got advantage. So does that cancel out? So I'm like just normal?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that makes it fairly straightforward to roll then. So yes, I think there's going to be a sort of semi-drunken attempt at flinging
to throw a psychic blade.
Blades. I mean,
all right, we've all been to those
if something happens to Lovyn,
guys, if you're at a party and people start throwing psychic knives around, leave. Call your dad. Just get out of there. It's not a good scene.
I apologize to any new members of the party if this blade goes wrong. That is actually a 19 plus a 7, so...
All right, yeah.
I think that will do the trick.
Pinned against the cliff wall by a psychic blade.
No, this is the one under the tree.
No, it's the tree one.
Oh, the tree one.
Yeah, it's the tree one because then I get sneak attack. So I do 5d6 plus 4.
5d6.
5d6.
Which is 24.
All right. That berserker is extremely unwell at this point in his berserking life.
And I think I get to throw another one. Or was that because I used the shove as my bonus?
Shove was probably your
Yes.
bonus.
Okay,
So,
no more throwing. I then pass out again.
all right. My work here is done. Slump. Lonewalker, you've been very
Yes.
patient. It's your turn.
I would like to report that there is another mom watching the show. Everyone please say hi to Ty.
Hi, Ty.
Hi, Ty.
My mom also has it on, so.
All
Hi,
right.
Renee.
Hi,
My mom is not watching.
No, same.
Well, everybody get your moms watching if you can. While that happens, I think that I will just go ahead and approach the nearest berserker.
He looks extremely unwell. He does not have a lot of fight left in him. He's
And
kind
I
of just
know-
staggering side to side. Blood is covering his face. It's getting all mixed with his face paint. He looks not good.
Is it purple now?
Is
I
that
know
how blood and paint works?
17
I don't
will
know.
hit.
It will.
Blue paint. Red blood.
And so what Lone Walker is going to do is grasp his warhammer with two hands and swing it down to hit the berserker for 9 bludgeoning damage. And then my question, probably for Erica or Tony, if I do a two-handed attack and I as a paladin have 2 attacks per action, am I still able to do another attack even though I did two-handed?
Hell to the yes.
Hail to
Basically
the
a gigantic infinity symbol.
yes. Yeah.
Ah, yes.
I will
Gotta
say
get that
you may need to
follow-through.
choose a
Yeah.
second target for that follow-up attack because your first attack knocks the berserker to the ground where he crashes into the foliage with just a sickening sound in a way that suggests that he is not getting back up anytime soon.
Okay, well then in that case, if I can do this, then Lone Walker is going to rush forward
And goes for the next one.
and goes for the next one.
All right.
So let me turn advantage back on, and then we'll do, okay, a 19 I know will hit.
Mhm.
So then we will do another two-handed attack. This time for 13 bludgeoning damage.
All right. The berserker does not like that.
To that I say, too bad.
All right. Oh, sorry. You go.
Sorry. And then I think, no, I'll leave it. Yeah, that's all.
All right, the Satyrs are next. One of them is worried and panicking. The other two have seen you defeat a berserker and become your cheer section and are very excited. But that's all they do. Lovyn Oakenheart, you are hiding behind a tree. The person that you stabbed is now out of commission. What will you do next?
Who will you stab next?
You can, by the way, you are able to sneak attack either of them or get sneak attack damage on either of the remaining because there are your friends who are standing nearby them. So
Yeah, the idea is if there's somebody up in their face, it's distracting them enough that you're able to target their kidneys specifically, or their liver, or
Nice.
their pancreas, whatever you're going for, and get your sneak attack damage. And so if you have a ranged weapon, or if you have enough daggers that you can start throwing them, then you could sneak attack even from up in the tree.
I'm gonna run out from behind the tree, and I'm gonna kind of lunge myself off of the body that's on the ground, and then just kind of crouch run up to that guy that's in front of Lone Walker.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do this right though. Click dagger and then sneak attack. Okay, I rolled a 23 with 17 damage.
All right.
Booyah.
So you scurry across the woods and just stab a dagger into that guy's side. He is not happy. Frittath'a, you are faced off with the other berserker who has taken very little damage so far, but you only have 2 berserkers to choose from.
Well, one of the reasons he's taken very little damage so far is probably because, as Micah just reminded me, I should be getting 2 attacks per turn. Thank you.
You liked it. You were warming up for that first attack.
Yes.
You don't want to.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Right, got to ease into it a little bit. I think I was so excited about raging and using my Storm's aura for the first time.
Yeah, that was cool. Storm's aura is pretty cool.
Yep. So, I crit.
Wow.
Woo. So, first attack is a crit, which means I get to roll 4d6, which I don't even have.
4d6.
So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so 5 and 5 is 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 6 is 21, plus 7 is 28.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Right?
That's a lot.
So yeah, that's a whole bunch of bludgeoning damage.
He is bloodied.
And then I got my next attack.
This fight might not take very long.
Yeah,
I should have brought more berserkers.
Hate when that
always
happens.
bring plenty of berserkers to the party. I did not roll as well on damage. I rolled 2 18s on the die. And my damage is only 12 that time. So 12 bludgeoning damage.
Well, that berserker is very sad now.
And I don't think... I'm not going to use the damage doing capability of my aura right now because it would hurt a bunch of my friends and the Satyrs. So I will just... Oh, you know what? I just remembered. I'm supposed to be doing even extra damage because I'm raging. So please add 4 damage for this turn.
All right.
Because it's +2 per melee attack, and I hit twice.
All right. He is unwell.
Yes.
All right.
I'm still angry, so I just roar in his face.
Hermione, 1 severely injured berserker, 1 lightly injured berserker.
All right. Hermione's going to join the party of her friends, get a little closer, and start with the short sword, which is 17 to hit.
Yeah, 17 hits their hide armor.
Yes. I asked, even though I knew in my head, but also, yeah. 5 plus 4 is 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage bloodies this berserker.
Perfect.
And then you're probably gonna whip him,
Let's
right?
whip him into shape. Oh, except not, because I rolled a 4.
All right.
7.
The berserkers are still here. They are still rampaging. They are still angry, though they are not long for this world. They don't know that. Berserker is going to axe attack Frittath'a. I have rolled a 16 to hit Frittath'a.
That hits.
That hits. You will take... I get to roll a D... Oh, I rolled a 1 on a D12. You'll take 4 slashing damage from his great axe.
Well,
and...
Since this fight seems to be like it's not going to necessarily last all that long,
no,
does he get another attack? Actually, it doesn't matter. I'm going to use my Stone's Endurance, which I can do once per short rest, and I am going to reduce the damage to me by rolling my D12. See if I can roll better than he did. I rolled an 8. So
all right, so you take
does
no
that mean
damage.
I get hit points?
No,
points
back. His axe catches you in the arm, but your arm is like it's solid stone for just a second, and it just like clips off your arm.
Okay.
All right, over here, this berserker is looking for a target, and he is berserk, and he spies a rogue who has plunged a dagger into his ribs. He is going to attack you, Lovyn Oakenheart. I have rolled a 24. I feel pretty good about that.
Ouch.
And he gets you with a good clip of his axe for 12 damage.
Ooh,
ouch.
That was rude.
How many hit points do you have?
See? This is what I'm saying.
59.
Okay, so you're not in bad shape, but probably you would prefer not to have been hit by an axe. I suspect that these berserkers will not get another turn, but that will depend upon your actions, starting with Naiasa Nightweaver.
I think Naiasa... There's no requirement to shove anyone currently. I think... yes, I will attack the one that is to my right. again with
Psychic blades.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I get the sneak attack on the psychic blades. Firebolt would be more impressive visually, but I don't get the sneak attack damage, so I'm just going to do the knives. I rolled 17 plus 7, so that sounds pretty good. 24.
That does sound great. There's no way to know what it adds up to, but it sounds good.
Yes. I mean,
No way.
It's got a
No
nice
way.
ring to it.
okay, 10, 11, 12, 13, 17 damage.
All right, that berserker is severely injured.
And I'm going to use my bonus attack to throw another smaller, less exciting blade.
Is it still psychic though?
It's still psychic, but it's like
That's
half-
pretty
like a time.
exciting.
it's
But you
half-
couldn't imagine as good a one for the second.
Yeah,
time.
it's kind of a bit half-hearted, you know.
Yeah,
it's,
you're like,
it's,
ah.
it's a cheaper looking
They're
ghostly
imaginary
blade.
blades. Why did you?
Yeah, but sometimes, you know, sometimes your imagination is better than other times. All right.
True. Does
I-
alcohol help or hurt? Everybody's different.
I
No
mean,
one knows.
I'm rolling pretty well, so I'm thinking that the alcohol is actually helping.
That's the lesson, kids.
Yep.
So I rolled another 24,
Okay.
but I don't do as much damage. This is a 1d4 plus 4.
1d4.
That is a 2, so 6 damage.
All right. I'll tell you, both berserkers look not long for this world. Lonewalker.
Yes. I'm just going to go ahead and go for a nice attack straight out in front of me again. I know a 21 will hit, and let us do once again two-handed with the Warhammer. So that's going to be 5 bludgeoning damage to the being in front of me.
5 was exactly what he had left. You have dispatched another berserker, Lonewalker.
All right. And then Lonewalker rushes down and goes for attack number 2. And let's see about that. Wow. Whoa, wait. That means I get extra super damage, doesn't it?
You crit too.
You
this,
can
Yeah.
tell,
this
you can tell the
particular-
listeners what you did.
Don't
that gives
talk
them
about
extra
it.
damage.
Don't talk about it.
It's a secret.
I got a critical hit.
Okay.
I feel like this particular berserker is just in like this is the second time a Goliath has crit on him, so I feel like he just invites it. He's got this anti-Goliath
His aura is
energy.
just
and we're
like,
like,
Yeah, his chakra is absolutely no good. It's garbage.
Which means we'll do 2d10 plus
2d10.
2d10. That will be 17 bludgeoning
right.
damage.
I will just point out that Lonewalker was the one to dispatch each and every single
Oh,
berserker.
wow.
Wow.
It was a
Frittath'a is
team
so
effort,
impressed.
but just like every great team, Lonewalker showed up at the end to get the credit for it.
I love though this like giant just
Yeah.
swishing through, like dashing
Yep.
to each person and with this
Thump,
big
thump.
warhammer. That's cool.
I would say at the end of the fight, Naiasa just throws up violently into the nearest bush.
Oh God. The Satyrs just think this is the greatest thing ever, and are just like, bro, you totally took care of those guys. We would have been dead. You're the best, bro. They're
You're
appreciative.
welcome. That was fun.
Indeed.
But like, maybe we shouldn't hang around here just in case there are more.
I think we should continue to move along. Yes.
We should search
Yeah.
their bodies and see if there are any clues to why they were attacking.
Or if there's any money.
Loot the corpse. Loot the corpse.
All right.
So,
Who would
yeah,
like to
let's do
loot
that.
a berserker corpse?
I would.
Yeah.
A line forms.
There are 3 corpses. No waiting.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm looking at this one.
All right.
Down.
Frittath'a, you are checking the berserker. He is a human who's clad in hides and animal skins of all different creatures pieced together. He does not seem to. He seems to have been living in wilderness for quite some time, based on his smell and lack of coinage on him. He does have in like a strange little leather pouch around his neck, like you can see sticking out of it. There's it's not a pouch that you have to open. It's not one of those bad pouches. Like a little bone kind of totem that has been made, and maybe if you made a religion check, you would know what it is.
I will give it a try. Religions +2. Wow, 21.
Okay.
Nice.
You recognize that this is a little totem that perhaps you are familiar with, that is to a lesser deity known as Malar, Malar, who is the god of, he's also known as the Beast Lord, and he is the god of the hunt and kind of like savagery and kind of violent woodland creatures.
I asked.
He's kind of he is, there's lots of different gods that are associated with nature. He's kind of one of the spooky, dark sides of nature.
Like a destructive
Yeah.
nature god. All right, so I say, Hermione, could you please tell these lovely fellows are bros?
Yes.
That it looks like these. Sorry, I should be doing this in character. These berserkers worship. What was it again? Malar. Do they know anything about tribes around here who worship Malar? That might be why people are killing beasts.
And Hermione asked the Satyrs that same question.
Whoa, yeah, these must be some of them, but there's got to be way more than 3 out there. All kinds of creatures have been getting killed by people. These guys aren't from around here. Most of the people here in the Great Forest are just like really chill, man. And like this is super not chill.
Totally. And she turns around to tell Frittath'a exactly that.
Frittath'a nods sagely. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. The little
That's
symbol
it? There's
that he
nothing else
has
on the
is
guy?
like a weird animal claw that's like fashioned into like a kind of spooky looking, paw.
I'm going to take it.
All right.
Make sure that we have evidence, I guess.
And
Are you going to take these guys to court? Is that?
I
would
think
like
they
them
might not show up.
I think
Exhibit A.
I want their bosses jailed.
I'll just remind you, you're inside a book. There's a limited legal system.
I don't know. Maybe there's a whole chapter on the penal system.
Right? You
Yeah.
never know. Just to be
You don't
better
know.
to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
While Hermione is translating, she's also looting this body.
All right. This one again. Great axe. It's okay. Lots of hides and animal bits. Pockets that are just full of like little like rodent skulls and rocks. Nothing exciting.
Ooh, rodent skulls.
That could be the currency in this realm, for all we know.
Yep.
Could be. The satyrs let you know it is not.
Well, Naiasa, for completeness, will look at the
The third
person
one.
next.
Yeah. Again, seems like a creature who's been living in wilderness for quite some time, filthy, covered in mud and blood, and some recently addition of its own blood, and nothing of value in his limited pockets.
Well, I would say that Naiasa's starting to feel uncomfortably sober at this point. So she is going to go over to the Satyrs and have another drink.
All right. Give me another Constitution check, James.
Constitution +2. That is a 14.
All right. No ill effects. The
Only the
satyrs
good
are
effects.
a little the satyrs are a little shaken up about this. They're kind of eager, like, bro, maybe can we like let's get back to the plateau as fast as we can. I don't know, like we should tell somebody about this, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yes, let's
Don't know.
report to the proper authorities.
There's not really like any like authorities in the plateau. I mean, I guess we could tell Fëanor. He's like, the most like longest standing member of our community. He's been there the longest. Maybe he would have some thoughts. I don't know. We should also probably tell them about the weird stuff we saw yesterday. I don't know. That might be important to them.
You have not yet told your leaders about the strange experiences you had?
Well, we
They got
haven't been
lost.
home yet.
Oh, that is
Yeah, they're
right.
lost.
Let us head forth.
In a way, we are also found by you.
Yes.
So,
yes.
to be clear, we're all just walking randomly through the forest because they don't know how to make it home?
Well, we're headed to the Polarth Plateau. That's our home. And sometimes
How can
we
they be
might-
lost, but they know how to make it home? That doesn't
Well,
make sense.
They know
sometimes,
the general vicinity.
Yeah, we're headed in the right direction, but you don't always know when you're going to get there. And
Are you leading us on, what is it called? A wild duck run?
that
No,
doesn't make any sense.
Goose chase. A wild goose chase.
Do you have geese that aren't wild, man? That's sad.
Can someone else communicate with these three?
Let us
if
each
somebody
be the
wants
wild
to-
goose we want to be.
If somebody wants to translate for Frittath'a, she will say to Lonewalker, think of it this way. If you are in Waterdeep, is there like a really tall building in Waterdeep, Tony, that I could refer to?
Yeah, there's a giant. There's a giant spire. There's a tower
Okay.
up by the water.
All right.
Yeah, I forget
Okay.
the exact name of it. but
Sure.
there are-
Say you are in Waterdeep and you are lost. You can still find your way to the giant spire because you can see to head in that direction, but you don't know where you are now. So you could still be lost and still know how to get where you're going.
I mean, we're headed north, right? We definitely those ravens chased us way off of our normal party turf.
Well, let us head to this metaphorical spire.
Oh no, it's real. Polvarth Plateau, it is very real.
I am leaving. Goodbye.
Are you
Walk
leaving
north.
north, dude? Because we're also going that way. You
Lonewalker
can go
starts
with
walking
us.
south.
Oh no! As you try and walk south, you feel a very strange effect, Lone Walker, which is like you're walking south and you're walking, like you feel your feet and legs moving, but you're not getting anywhere. It's like the stuff in the distance to the south of you remains at like a fixed distance away from you, and it's like you're walking like in place. And
Wow.
That looks
Yeah.
weird.
It seems like the book doesn't want you to go south. I don't know what to tell you. It's not. I didn't write this book.
At first, I was going to say Frittath'a goes after you, but then I realized it's my intelligence that's high, not my wisdom. So I'm just watching and going,
I think Lone Walker notices what's happening and he starts to walk back and he goes, I just needed a moment to cool off.
No, we all been there, bro.
I understand.
Yeah.
I have no idea who's saying what in what languages and who should
Yeah.
actually be able to reply, but
Yep.
your
I
body
know-
language said it all.
I think you're starting to pick up on, these guys don't have the most complex vocabulary. You may be starting to pick up a few words of Elven here and there.
Lone Walker starts to head north now,
All right.
leading the party. Clearly the satyrs, the satyr masochists do not want to lead us north.
All right. They fall in behind you and your group heads north. The stream you've been following starts to kind of twist and turn, and as you are heading north, the stream starts to turn to the east, and the satyrs indicate like we're gonna have to cross this to get back to the plateau. And I don't know, there's a place up ahead that we've been there before. There's some rocks. I think that's probably as good a place to cross as any. Don't want to follow the stream. That won't get us home. Not at this point.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm sure it's going to be fine.
Sure, it's going to be fine. You head to a place. The stream is, it's certainly not a rushing river at this point, but it's the water's a little deeper, a little choppier. But there do seem to be kind of a nice set of boulders that create a little stepping stones you could use to cross the path and head north. Is there anything you'd like to do before you attempt to ford this river?
Are we going to ford it, or are we going to just walk across the rocks?
It was
Like,
a metaphorical fording.
I think we
I'll
should
be
somehow.
leaving now.
I think we should somehow test these stones before we walk across them, because I have a feeling they're going to jostle loose or something.
And I mean, if
happen.
the water's not that deep, depending on how strong the current is, Frittath'a and possibly Lonewalker could literally ford the creek
That's
and just
true.
carry
Yeah.
everybody back and forth.
I prefer to Chevrolet, but
Yeah.
I think
Happy
Naiasa
Honda
is,
days.
I'm going to Lexus everybody across.
how wide is it again?
And how deep?
Kathy. How deep
You
is
don't
your
know how
love,
deep it
Tony?
is. It looks like it's probably about 25 or 30 feet across.
I think Naiasa is not in a state where she's making great decisions, and I think she's just going to start walking towards
So she's
this.
Naiasa.
Oh my god.
She's just going
All
to
right.
walk across because
Naiasa,
I'm in the back, so I can't do anything to stop this.
Naiasa, give me an acrobatics check as you drunkenly try and cross a river on wet, slippery stones.
advantage,
Which-
disadvantage.
Disadvantage because you're inebriated.
Double disadvantage.
Just checking. A 28, pretty good.
Pretty
Wow.
good. And
For the first
And
And
wait, there's more.
a 19.
Or less.
All right, a 19. Naiasa, there's a couple points where everyone like holds their breath, where it looks like you're going to slip that you may or may not actually have been aware of. But you effortlessly, more or less, cross the river as you step onto from the slippery rocks onto the embankment on the other side. I think that you might be aware of some movement in the foliage around you. You want to give me a quick perception check?
Okay.
With disadvantage, don't forget.
Yep.
Well, that was a 1, so I am not seeing anything.
No.
All
I
right.
mean, that's
Naiasa turns to look at all of you to point out how easy and safe it was. You all have a view. Naiasa is not looking in this direction as 5 wolves creep out of the underbrush coming up behind Naiasa.
oh boy.
okay, Lonewalker first shouts out, "There are wolves!" And then this sort of mist appears in front of him, and then a mist forms next to Naiasa. And you see Lonewalker sort of step into the mist and then step out of the mist on the other side. It's sort of like when you step through mist.
I
Misty
do step through mist
Misty
all the time.
step.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Lone Walker, do you want to give me a perception check now that you are on the other side of the river? And there
Oh,
are
wait,
wolves?
I'm sorry. I guess I didn't say there are wolves. I thought that because, yeah. So they're still hidden, or they did come out?
Oh, no,
to where
they
we
came
couldn't
out.
see-
Tony said we saw them.
I said you
Okay,
saw the
so-
wolves.
Okay.
I said
so I'm doing a
Naiasa
perception
didn't.
check for something else then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, maybe I just want to see if you perceive stuff.
I don't perceive anything, even though I did not imbibe.
You
with
see
a 5.
Guess what? 5 perception. You see 5 wolves. How
And
Dungeons
then
and Dragons works, people.
Lone Walker
Um,
counts out loud.
math.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah.
The wolves, they do seem they're just there. They're kind of looking at you, the two of you, but they're not, they're not doing anything yet.
I think
what?
Naiasa will like sort of turn, see them, and just excitedly shout, "Wolves!"
Everyone now super knows that there are wolves here.
I think
Are-
Lone Walker might remember something about a friend of his.
Mm.
And so he
Was that friend a
will,
wolf?
Yeah, he will shout out, "Lovyn, I think you might be needed for communication."
Yeah, I was about to make my way across. Should I do acrobatics check?
Please do.
Oh, you're gonna do flips and shit? Oh, shoot! I forgot. That's I'm sorry, Erica.
Fine.
Micah
Micah.
Sargent.
Just glad I
Your
wasn't
mom
in
is
it.
watching this.
She would be like, "Say the worst word."
Of all of us after Gribbets,
I
you were the
know.
one who was swearing. I'm shocked.
I love it.
So 12?
12 is good enough to climb across without falling into the drink. So you join Lone Walker and Naiasa on the other side of the bank. if other people would like to do that too, I think the satyrs are maybe going to wait and see how this wolf situation checks out before they try and dance across the rocks.
Is this one of these logic puzzles where we have to move 3 satyrs
Yeah.
across a river? But there's
Did I
5
not
wolves.
mention each of the satyrs is holding a bag of grass?
And one of them's carrying a scorpion, and the other one.
Yep. It's in his nature.
I'm not going to leave them alone on this side of the river.
All right.
So
You'll hang back for
That's
Tata.
smart.
Yeah.
You are. That makes sense since you are the one person who can't talk to them.
Yeah.
and that's like that's a wise thing to do, not a smart. Like, I'm just like the difference between wisdom and I'm not wise, so I feel like actually, never mind. I don't stay with them. That's what Erica would do. Instead, Frittath'a just rushes across the river. She doesn't try to walk on the rocks. So tell me what happens as I try to walk through the rushing stream.
All right. I think you're tall enough. You plunge into it. Give me an athletics check to try and get through it. You're definitely getting wet. I don't know if you have any important water soluble gear that is now ruined.
No. Well, there's my journal, but I keep that in like a tightly sealed leather case. Yeah. I roll a 1.
All right. You get kind of stuck about halfway across in some like deep mud. Maybe your foot is kind of wedged up across a rock.
That became an 8, so I'll be like right here.
Yeah, you get about halfway. You're not in any danger. Like the water is, I don't know if it's maybe even chest high for you, but you're not in any danger of drowning. You've been slowed
annoyed
down. You're very annoyed at the river, at the wolves, possibly at the satyrs, possibly yourself. I don't know. I don't get to tell you how to think. But elements of the situation are annoying. Hermione, do you want to do anything?
I am going to stay with the satyrs and also be ready to help Frittath'a if she can't get out of the water and just kind of
this is one
hang
of
out
those
on the side.
Rare, unique situations in Dungeons and Dragons where using rope would be appropriate, but we don't talk about that.
Rope?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Naiasa, you now know that there are wolves. Lovyn, you have joined the group. Lonewalker, you're there. Again, the wolves just seem to be kind of, they're just watching you from the kind of from the brush. They don't look particularly aggressive. Maybe they're kind of they're definitely. They are not breaking eye contact with you, but they have not advanced. They have not snarled.
Naiasa walks over to the first wolf and bends down and attempts to pet the wolf.
All right. The wolf.
Can I try to stop them?
Rogue versus rogue.
You could try. Give me a quickly contested strength check, remembering that you are both drunk.
I rolled. Is this disadvantage?
Yes.
I rolled.
So go twice.
Yeah. Roll twice. Take
14.
Take the lower.
What'd you
Sorry,
get,
my computer
James?
is like wheezing. It's trying not to die. It's moving very slow. 5.
5. And what'd you get?
I got
James?
14.
14. All right, you grab it, James. You grab it, Naiasa. Naiasa just keeps going. Naiasa, as you approach the wolf, it kind of snarls at you, and then immediately starts kind of whimpering. I don't know if these are convincing noises. I apologize.
Works for me.
I'm immediately crying for, don't know why. It's just the emotion of this situation, and it's trying to hug this wolf to try and make it better.
The other wolves kind of approach with curiosity. As you kind of see them coming out of the woods, and you're holding this wolf that is very sad, Naiasa. It is clear that this wolf, that these animals have been attacked, and several of them look like they have arrows stuck in them, and one looks like it got hit with an axe pretty good. These are 5 injured wolves.
Oh my goodness.
Babies.
I'm trying to think if I've got anything that can heal.
I'm reaching towards the wolves to try to help, but I can't get there.
I'm going to just say, because you are hugging a wolf, Naiasa, I think that this is extremely appropriate. Please make an animal handling check. With disadvantage.
With disadvantage.
Yeah. This is the most literal animal handling check I've ever seen in all of Dungeons and Dragons.
Squeezing the wolf too hard.
I rolled an 11.
All right. I don't know if this is the best wolf hug, but it's, the wolf is not resisting. Lovyn, you tried to stop Naiasa from hugging a wolf. Naiasa's hugging a wolf. Would you like to do something now?
I'm gonna talk in whatever language wolves speak.
They speak wolf.
And say, "Is this okay? Is she hurting you?"
So what do you just naturally speak wolf, or are you using some kind of magic?
I can talk with animals, being a forest gnome.
Nice.
You can communicate
that's
simple
all I know.
ideas. That's
Simple ideas.
Oh,
simple
okay.
ideas.
That's a pretty simple idea.
Yeah.
Simple idea. Yeah.
Are you
you
safe?
okay? Do you want this to stop?
Can we hear some wolf sound effects quickly, Sebastian?
Oh God.
You're doing great.
I'm imagining like whimpering because you wouldn't want to growl. That would be
I don't know how
pretty
they
aggressive. So
we are establishing wolf dialogue here. This is
Oh,
no
I can't.
pre-existing canon.
There is no right or wrong answer.
kind of like Chewbacca noises. I can't really
Okay.
do it, but
And what would those sound like?
that's what I'm I'm trying.
Yeah.
that was good.
That was really
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
The wolf, hugged wolf kind of responds, and you know that the wolf feels safe here. Some of the other wolves call out to you, Lovyn, in their strange kind of sad wolf that lets you. They say that bad men have been hunting them.
Can I try communicating like where bad man?
Yeah. Can I hear a little bit more wolf?
I can't.
One of the wolves kind of studies the landscape and points with its paw due north.
Oh.
I think I'd like to lean down to the wolf nearest me, place my hand on the wolf, and pass some healing energy into
All
it.
right.
How many hit points of damage did this wolf take? Do we think?
This wolf seems to have taken about a D8 of hit points of damage.
That's a lot.
These are badly hurt wolves.
I'm gonna give it 5.
Okay.
Wow.
The wolf kind of nods solemnly at you. We'll say maybe you chose the wolf that was the most badly injured.
Yeah.
And I think this is the time where the wolves have decided that you are not a threat, and they kind of all get up to their feet and kind of start kind of moving single file off through the woods off to the west. Each of them kind of turns and looks at you and nods solemnly before they disappear.
Frittath'a is in the middle of the river, like just trying to stay upright.
Frittath'a
and just
missed
like
this entire thing.
No, I've seen it from a distance, and I'm just weeping because it was so beautiful.
But we can't tell because the water is red. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
exactly. It's a spray.
All right.
I can see
You'll never
Naiasa
know.
not wanting to let go of the wolf and very kind of like. I think the hug was more for her than it was for the wolf.
All right. Well, I will tell you, you avoided an unnecessary fight with a bunch of wolves, which is admirable.
Good job.
Yeah. The Satyr brothers let you know that you are at this point. You're pretty close to the plateau. If you push on, you should be there in about an hour.
Oh, now suddenly they have details.
Yeah.
Well,
They
Well,
recognize
the
Wolf
stream
Plane.
really helped us orient our bearings, bro.
Lonewalker's just not saying anything.
right.
Hermione is gonna help Frittath'a out of the water.
All
And
right.
Thank you, friend.
Do I need to roll anything? Or can we just...
you are soaking Frittath'a, but otherwise fine. All right. I assume that you'll continue to push northward
Yes.
toward
Mhm.
Polvarth Plateau. You're traveling through the woods. It does seem like the terrain is starting to slope upward a little bit as you're getting toward the aforementioned plateau. And as you're kind of heading, it's a little bit rougher terrain here. There are no game trails. It's just moving through the woods. And you stumble into a clearing with a kind of stump of a tree in the middle of the clearing, just like totally illuminated by the moonlight, and the satyrs start kind of high-fiving and clapping. This is like an auspicious moment. Like this is like a really cool, good thing that we found this, bros.
I have no idea what they said, but I feel like I completely got the gist.
They're very, articulate.
I think you've
in their body
learned the
movements.
Elven for bro.
Yeah,
At least.
got that
That's
one.
true. I learned it in Elven and Sylvan because
Yeah.
it just keeps
Switching
saying it.
back and forth, yeah.
Tregos kind of runs up to the stump, and he's waving and gesturing for you to follow him, and he's pointing at the stump.
Sure. I follow immediately.
All right, Frittath'a, as you approach the stump, you can see that there's kind of oozing out of the stump is this like thick golden sap.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And Tregos just like sticks his little paw in and scoops it up, and like it's just licking golden sap off of his hand. It's like,
I'm
this
gonna
stuff
do
is the
this-
best, bro. Anyone who's hurt should definitely try it.
All right, wisdom -1. I'm diving in.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, Naiasa. right
Sometimes
there
it's hard
with
to
you.
play these types of characters. I'm trying to work on it, you
the
guys.
the
You're doing a
anti-Erica
good job.
characters.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Frittath'a and Naiasa are don't hold back. They go up and they drink some sap, and you feel just a warm, tingling sensation flow through your body, and you regain 2d4 plus 2 hit points.
I was actually at full, but I bet I just feel
You
nice.
just feel
Yeah,
great.
so was I. Is my hangover gone? Am I not drunk? Is that
Give me a
Oh,
Constitution
interesting.
check with advantage to see if your hangover is gone.
Okay. No. That was a 5. That's a 20.
All right,
Nice.
you feel in fact, there's a little bit of a kind of a caffeine kind of buzz to this golden sap. I will tell you. So Tregos really just ate a lot of this, and then Naiasa and Frittath'a just scarfs them down. There's sap left for 2 people if anyone else wants some golden sap.
I'll take a handful of sap.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right,
Me too, because
people who were
Hermione
actually
is
injured,
actually
Yeah.
injured,
Rather than people
Yeah.
who just have poor judgment.
people who just wanted to eat out of a tree stump. Yes.
Well, I'm injured and poor judgment.
Yeah. Lovyn and Hermione, please regain 2d4 plus 2 hit points.
2d4.
So the bros tell you how lucky you were to have found one of these stumps full of golden sap. It's considered just like really good luck in the satyr culture, and it's it feels like at this point. You've had some ups and downs in this excursion through the woods for many hours inside a book, but perhaps your hearts are lifted a little bit as for the last push of the hike through the woods as you approach Polvarth Plateau. Coming out of the tree line, you stand in front of just this impossibly large maple tree in the center of an open area. It's almost 100 feet in diameter. There are shafts of light cutting through the leafy canopy overhead that reflect off of thin streams of water that trickle along and between the trees' gnarled and thick roots. There's some satyrs kind of hanging out, cooking meals, living in little campsites around the roots of the tree. And as well as some other kind of fey creatures that seem to live here. And as you kind of follow Tregos, Artelio, and Funagio as they run forward, the entire tree kind of shifts and turns and creaks as it leans in your direction, and a deep bellowing of voice from within the tree says to you, "Pardon my rudeness." And so you have reached Polvarth Plateau, the place that the satyrs wanted to get to. You've discovered there are some strange things going on here in the Great Woods. Perhaps the followers of the cult of Malar are causing problems, but what kind of problems, and what do they have to do with LaRue the titular unicorn of this whole adventure. Will we find other mysteries in the woods? Will we confront the cult of Malar? Where the heck is that unicorn? For answers to questions such as these, tune in next time to Total Party Kill.
The Incomparable Podcast Network. Become a member and support this show today. theincomparable.com/members